Hi, Dennis Charney here with Whip Finish Industries, and today I'm going to be tying a sulfur emerger. This is a great pattern to use during probably the whole month of May. This is the emerging stage. This is before it has actually sprouted its wings and have been able to fly away as an adult. So we begin this pattern with a light wire emerger hook. I'm tying on a Daiichi 1130. You can use a TMC 2487 as well. And today's, the thread is going to be a 6/0 yellow thread. I'm just going to lay down a good thread base. The emerging stage, this insect is still in its nymphal shuck, and its adult phase yellow body is just beginning to emerge at this stage. So for the nymphal shuck, I'm going to use a brown sparkle emerger yarn. You could use a brown Antron. And you just want to use a real scant amount. You're trying to represent the exoskeleton of a tiny insect, so it's very thin, almost wispy. And I'm just going to tie in not a tail, but a shuck that this insect is emerging out of. Tie that off. Next, I'll tie in a rib, and I'm using a fine copper wire rib. We'll tie that in against the hook shank, all the way down right to the edge of that shuck. Bind that down. The abdomen, I'm using pheasant tail fibers. The pheasant tail fibers have a nice mahogany brown color to them, which is very, very close to the original. And I will tie those in by the tips, right at the base of the shuck. And wrap those fibers to create the abdomen. Advance the fibers toward the eye of the hook. And we're going to go maybe about 70% up that hook shank with the wrap of pheasant tail fibers. And tie them off. Trim the butts. Advance the wire rib by counter wrapping. This adds our strength and durability to the fly. And advance that all the way up through that pheasant tail to where you have it tied off. And we'll trim that off as well. Now, to represent the wing buds that are emerging from this shuck, I'm using light dun CDC. And I've pulled a nice feather out, and I'm tying it in by the tips forward and binding it down. These strays you can let in there. That just adds a little more body to the fly. And I'm doing what they call a loop wing by just pulling that wing over and then binding it down with a few wraps of thread. Trim off the butts. And now we want to tie in what would be the thorax to the head area of this fly. And now this is a bright yellow bodied fly when it becomes an adult. So that thorax is a bright yellow color, and I'm using Wapsi beaver dubbing in yellow. To create that. we'll start right at the base of the wing buds and wrap up to the head. Just going to add a little more dubbing to that. There we go. And we'll whip finish right to the eye of the hook. Trim this. This is the emergent stage. So this is something that we'll fish in the afternoon as we start to see some bugs starting to emerge. You can trim just a little bit of that, but you want it nice and rough looking. The CDC will be floating high. The yellow head will be highly visible to the fish. We got a shuck that'll be sitting below the surface. This fly fishes half below the surface, half on the surface. Gives us a nice impression of an emerging insect. I hope you've enjoyed the demo, and I hope you tie some of these flies and you find that these flies are highly effective in your trout pursuits. All of these materials are listed below, and you can buy all of these or any of these materials by clicking below, and we'll have all these sent right to your doorstep, supplied by a local fly shop. Go have fun. Thanks for joining us.